What's going on, beautiful people? And thank you for listening and tuning in. I appreciate your appreciation of my rants and rambles. And we're going to talk about trusting yourself. Trusting yourself. So here goes. I'm guessing this is going to be quite a rant because I got a lot to say when it comes to trusting yourself. But the gist of it, and this is how we're going to start the video. The gist of it is that we have all been taught not to trust ourselves. This is a worldwide issue. This is a worldwide thing where children are taught from the minute they pop through a vagina into this world. They're taught the minute they're here not to trust themselves, not to trust their experience, right? And the first thing that happens is a baby cries. This is the baby's experience. The baby's trusting its experience, and the parent tries to tell the baby to stop crying, to not cry because it's inappropriate, it's annoying other people, etc. Right there and then, the baby starts to learn subconsciously not to trust herself, itself, himself. It's a little baby, right? As you grow older, you're taught to take your truths and the version of reality that you inhabit, that you project into the world, through institutions. And the first institution you're indoctrinated into is your parents. That's the first one. That's the first authority figure that you have. You start to take your truths from your parents, unless you had exceptionally good parents that treated you like a friend and honored the way the force is doing its thing through you. Then probably your parents, because they love you, they want the best for you, but unfortunately what they think is the best for you is completely off and outdated. And outdated, that's another thing, right? They're projecting what they think is best for you based on their own beliefs and their own time. So it's already outdated. So they try to impose these things on you and try and make you listen to them. And some parents are really sneaky about it, right? They'll pretend like they're democratic and everything, but they're pulling the invisible strings from behind, trying to sway you into being one way or another. Again, because they're good-intentioned people, obviously. They're your parents. They love you. They're good intentions. They're coming from good intentions, but it is what it is. You know, they're unknowingly or knowingly trying to manipulate you into something. And, you know, again, some parents get really sneaky with it. They get smart with it. Still, that's usually the first institution that you get your truths from. And so you grow older and you're disciplined, right? Don't cry in public. Don't shout. Don't do this. Don't do that. If you have to take a piss, then just repress it until we get to the bathroom, right? And again, this is you're trusting what's going on in here and take a piss, but you're taught no, repress it. Don't trust yourself. Don't trust your experience. Grow older and older. You just start to trust yourself less and less and less. You get into school and there's another institution, and this one is more in your face. Your parents, again, can be sneaky about it, but this is more in your face. School system, here's your truth. Here's what you need to learn to be a successful person in this world. And here's what you need to become, right? Here, learn this math, learn English, learn science, learn these few things, learn these subjects. Maybe take a few electives along the way. You know, again, the school system pretends like it's trying to cater to everybody, so they offer electives, quote unquote, but we all know the major things is science, math, and English. Those are the major things that everybody's is taught, because those are the skills you need to be a productive member of the economic machine, right? Science, math, you need to do math, science, whether you want to go to trade school later on, or whether you want to, you know, work with your hands, be more hands-on, or whether you want to go into like life sciences or medical sciences or engineering after, right? or English, so you might go study, you know, social studies or whatever. Those are the three basic skills. Let's face it here, all this other mumbo jumbo bullshit that school pretends it's giving you. Gym class, that's another one. Good fucking luck. You want to be an athlete? Good fucking luck. Yes, some schools, they have like good systems, you know, specific schools, and they end up, the players, the athletes end up actually coming through the system. But most schools are not like that. And I think there are select few, I think even for like football players and NBA players, etc., there's sort of a select few schools that usually breed NBA players and football players. But I'm talking about an average school here. An average school, it doesn't have all the sophistication, the athletic program sophistication to actually breed players that are going to become world star. I'm talking about an average school here, right? So an average school, these are the three things. This is where you take, and you're taking your truths from that institution, from the teachers. You know, that's another thing. I mean, we're assuming these teachers are some kind of perfection of God. And they're teaching the young people with them who are so open to suggestion, they're teaching them how to be in the world. Well, let me tell you something. Most of these fucking teachers are lost in life, in their own personal life. And that's why I think, you know, it's very easy to be a teacher. You just gotta go to teacher's college a couple of years and you're a teacher, man. It's a joke. I think being a teacher should be the highest thing in society. Teachers should go through such a vigorous qualification phase that they all get paid like same as actors, 20 million, you know? When you're like this top fucking level teacher, you're getting paid $20 million. Teachers should be people who have their shit together. Shouldn't just be like peanuts going to teacher's college and becoming a teacher. I'm telling you, most of these teachers are fucking lost in life. They don't even know how, they have their head in their own ass and they're teaching the new generation how to be in the world. Well, no wonder we have such a dysfunctional society, dysfunctional world. This is not a rant against teachers, okay? I'm just saying, you know, I had some beautiful teachers, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. You know, there's always exceptions. I remember a few teachers that I had in school, clearly the exception. I remember one physics teacher. The guy is a fucking genius. I remember his name was Mr. Germanic, I think. Maybe a little bit different. But the guy was a genius. He had his shit together and he made it fun. He clearly was someone who's very interested in the universe and very interested in the material, and he taught it in a very unique way. So no, there are exceptions, but I'm talking again average here. So you're taught not to trust your truth, your subjective experience, take it from the school system, the financial institution. And so you go on in the world, whatever you do when you're done through the financial institution, which goes on until your 20s, university, trade, whatever, it's educational institutions. It goes on until your 20s. And the educational institutions prepare you how to make a living in the world. That's bullshit, because there are literally an infinite ways to make money and make a living. An infinite ways. We're living in infinity. We're in infinity right now. But then the school system, the education system, narrows it down for you into, how about you go to trade school, or how about you go to, university or college, get this degree, get this job in a respectable company, or go to trades, learn something with your hands, and start making money with it. It's like it narrows down your object. It literally is creating reality for people, because we're living in infinity, right? We're in infinity. And the fact that there's some people out there right now making a fucking full-time living off selling their dirty socks, which that, by the way, fucking exists, that tells me there's an infinite ways of making money. Infinite ways. But the financial system takes the masses of people, says, hey, these are your options, and we're creating your own reality for you. Don't trust that intuition that you have, that creative spark, that idea that you had about making money, which really is a very unique and, no one's really done it, or very few people do it. Don't trust that. Trust what we tell you to do, because this is guaranteed. It's an illusion of security. So that's one institution, educational institution, and that we take our truths from, as far as how we make our way through the world, how we make a living. And not just that, also, it gives us the truth about the world. It says, you know, science is the other institution, right? Science is the other institution that gives us our truth. And here in the West, we're so obedient to it, right? Anything that's science must be, there's like a lot of memes and shit, right? Like, it's true because it's science, bitch, or some shit like that, right? And we basically, you know, the scientists sort of became the priests now, in many ways. You know, them and the bankers, right? But scientists are sort of priests right now. And I'm speaking in the words of Tom Campbell, who's a scientist himself. And what I love about Tom Campbell, he bridges the world of science with the world of consciousness, because it's one and the same. We're talking about the same thing. But science is another institution that we take our truth from. And it requires objective analysis, meaning no. If you're the exception, no, fuck you. It has to be objective. It has to apply to the masses of people for it to be evidence, to be true, you know, for us to consider it truth. It has to be objective. Right there and then. It's like, fuck your subjective experience. Whatever, fuck you. We don't care. We want objective truth. Your subjective experience, fuck off. I don't care. And that's really what science is, okay? And we take our truths from science, right? And we say, oh, you know, if it's scientific, it must be true, it must be real. But the problem with science, and I respect the institution of science just as much as I respect the institution of religion, which I'm going to talk shit about in a bit. They're all institutions trying to figure out what the fuck's going on in life. And they're all useful. All these institutions, you know, religion and science, they're useful institutions, you know. But they're limited. They're really fucking limited because we're, as humans, are limited in intelligence, right? And the problem with science, as I see it, it's looking down up. What do I mean by down up? There is other fucking realities out there, brother. There is other realities. And, you know, I don't need to fucking explain. I don't need to defend my position about parallel realities and other dimensions and planes of existence. I don't need to. I don't need to. I've been there. You know, just me. I don't want to argue here. I don't want to make fucking arguments and shit. But there is higher planes of existence, higher planes of dimension, of realities, other planes, right? As above, so below. We're below. There's above. There is spiritual realms that we don't see with our five senses, right? We don't perceive with our five senses, but we can perceive with the third eye. We can perceive through meditation. We can perceive through psychedelics. We can perceive through contemplation. We can perceive through just awareness of what the fuck's going on here. Science only trusts the five senses. It has to be sensory. It has to be with the five senses. Well, the fucking problem is we're living in a very convincing illusion. And science is coming to realize that with simulation theory, right? Simulation theory and the Matrix is, I mean, the Matrix is so-called science fiction, but really it's a documentary for real life. And science with simulation theory will reveal all of these things, right? Same with quantum physics. We're living inside a very convincing illusion. Very convincing. How can we trust our five senses then? If it's very convincing. If anything, if we just only trust our five senses, then we're digging ourselves deeper into the illusion. We're not seeing that this is just a projection of something higher, something greater, something way more magnificent. And this whole thing that we see in all the events that happen in this time-space continuum are the result of something that's happening outside the simulation. You see? So again, when you take your truth from the objective, evidence-based, vigorous, scientific method, which again is useful, you know, things like vaccines and whatnot, right? They're saving, child mortality used to be so high, but, again, now it's like we have so many people that are able to live because of some of the scientific discoveries. So it is useful. But that's all it is, useful. It's not the fucking truth. It's not the God. Scientists are not priests, It is useful, and that's all it is. It's just a useful institution with useful methods. But we take it as a truth. And we say, oh, if it's not science, fuck you, fuck off. You're fucking tripping balls on 5 grams of mushrooms, and you're telling me you went to heaven, and you're telling me you went to the astral realm and you met beings and entities, and you're telling me you're fucking smoking DMT and you're going to these realms that are astonishing and feel more real than here. Well, it's just your brain. Your brain is producing these hallucinations. You're going through psychosis. You know, don't worry about it. Just come back here to this physical matter reality. You know, we gotta trust our senses only. You know, it's just your brain is a physical thing. It's making all this shit up. You take your truth from science and you don't actually honor the subjective experience. So, and those realms are they're fucking real. I'm telling you right now. And I'm telling you right now, they're fucking real. Okay, and when I say this, I'm saying this because of subjective experience, not objective. I'm not telling you to believe it. I'm telling you, you gotta experience this shit. You gotta experience this shit. This is what I'm alluding to, this whole rant, which is probably gonna go on maybe another 10-15 minutes. What I'm trying to allude for in this whole rant is to trust your subjective experience. The only reason I know this, because I've been to those fucking realms. I've fucking smoked DMT. I've gotten blasted on psychedelics, on mushrooms, on LSD. And that shit's real. And it feels way more real than here. And it feels like home. When I was there, it feels like every time I'm there, it feels like home. Anyway, that's just my subjective experience. Don't take this as fucking, as the Bible. Don't take it as the truth. Because now we're falling again into the problem of institutions taking truth from institutions. If you think of me as an institution, fuck me. Don't take my truth for it. Experience the shit for yourself. So, that's another institution that we cling on to for our truths, and we don't trust our subjective experience. Religion is another institution, right? Religion is sort of, you might think of it as the contrast of science, right? It's more spiritual, faith-based, but all it is you're taking someone else's experience of God, someone else's experience of the transcendent other, someone else's experience of this thing, the force, the Tao, the way. You're taking their experience, and now you're taking it as truth, right? So now the only way for me to experience God, the only way for me to experience these higher planes of existence is by doing and following what that person is doing, right? And so that's when we get religions, and they become institutions, right? So, you know, people start to say, well, this is how Jesus experienced God, so that must be the only way. So people come and tell you Jesus is the way. You know, and then people who follow Islam, right? Oh, Muhammad used to pray in a certain way and do this and say these things. That must be the only way. And that's the only way we're going to get to God. Then we make rules on it. We make, you know, this, to do this, follow that. Oh, yes, heaven and hell exist. You don't have to experience it for yourself. Just trust that higher consciousness being experienced it for himself. Let's just follow. He says there's heaven and hell. He seems like an enlightened being, so let's write it down. Okay. Trust, faith, blind faith, blind faith, blind faith. Let's create these rules. All right, it's your duty now. You gotta pray 5 times a day, or you gotta go to church every Sunday, whatever. You feeling that experience of God that these higher beings, higher conscious beings experience, like Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, all these guys, that doesn't fucking matter. That doesn't matter. Just take their truth and follow it. It's like, no, man. Like, if I have a menu, I want to eat the food. I'm not just trying to look at the menu here. And that's what really religion is. The religions, institutionalized religions, it's just a menu. This is the menu. Oh, well, this is, it says here that you can experience infinite bliss. It says here that, you know, there's like other planes, you know, there's like, you know, higher planes of existence, and there's like a heaven and there's a hell. And it says here that I can end my suffering by attaching less. And oh wow, that looks like a fucking good menu. But boy, I'm not, okay, all right, can I get the food? You know, oh, come here, I need the food. Okay, so if you don't get the food, what the fuck is the point of the menu? You need to eat the food, right? So you want to eat these experiences. You want to feel this infinite bliss. You want to go and delve into these other planes of existence, the astral realm, the astral plane. You want to do all these things. You want to feel it for yourself. You want to experience it. You don't want to just take it as truth. So we take the truth, these you know, again, there's so much wisdom in every religion, because these beings that the religion was founded upon by people later on who, I don't know, I guess misread the experience, didn't experience it themselves, experienced it in a different way, and created these sets of rules, and it became just a control thing, right? We know about the Catholic Church in the Middle Ages. It's a control mechanism to control land, to control resources. It just became a control thing. It's used for power. You know, it's like, all right, science is useful, religion is useful, but let me trust my own experience with these institutions. Let me trust this thing that's happening in me. And you should. You absolutely should. Because you have the same brain as Einstein. Like, well, okay, they say his brain is twice as much, but fine. You have the same brain as Tesla. Okay? It's the same mechanism. It's the same thing. You have the same brain as the fucking guy, Elon Musk. Alright? It's the same brain. You're human. You're made of flesh just like Elon Musk. You're made of flesh just like the guru that reached enlightenment. Alright? And you see them and you honor it and you respect. You see someone that's embodying love and embodying like high energy, you recognize it whether you like it or not. And you admire it and you seek inspiration from it. But you don't just take that as a truth because that's how they got there. You might get there completely differently. Some people might need to get a guru and get enlightened. And some people might need to pray 5 times a day. And some people, like myself, need to fucking get blasted on psychedelics. You know? Different ways. You can get there different ways. But the important thing is that you get there through experience. So if you want to go ahead and get a guru and follow that guru and experience and follow his path and experience it, you know, word for word, step for step, and you actually experience it, that's it. God bless. That's your path. If you want to go get blasted on psychedelics, that's your path. The important thing is that you feel it, is that you trust the subjective experience. You feel it right here. You feel it. However you get there, whichever method, whatever. You get there, but you trust the experience. You trust what's going on here, right? So, other institutions that we take our truths from, the medical establishment. The medical establishment. We take our truths, you know what the medical establishment tells you? The medical establishment tells you, if you're depressed, take these fucking pills that are going to make you numbed out and then make you a zombie, and they'll reset your serotonin balance. The medical establishment doesn't tell you that, hey, you're depressed because you're eating junk food, because your lifestyle is not optimal and you're not moving and you're not exercising, and we lack community, we lack love in the society, which causes you to feel a sense of loneliness and despair. No, the medical establishment tells you, hey, there's a pill there for you. That's what the fucking medical establishment is. We're taking our truths from an establishment that doesn't even fucking know jack shit about depression. They think it's just, oh, it's an imbalance. All right, let's deal with it physically here. You know, it's like, no, man, there's a lot of factors here. There's emotional, there's factors that you don't see with your eyes. There's emotional factors, there's spiritual factors, there's physical factors. And we take our truths from the medical establishment, which again is a useful institution, but that's all it is. It's useful. It's not the institution that gives me the truth. I'm not taking my truth from it. It's useful. It's useful. All these institutions are useful. They're resourceful. Science is resourceful. Medicine is medical establishment is resourceful. Religions, all of religions are resourceful. Parents are resourceful, right? The education system is resourceful, but that's all they are. Useful, resourceful, resources, but they're not the ones giving us our truth in the same way, okay? Me talking to these videos, right? I'm resourceful, I'm useful, but don't take anything that I say as the truth. And I'm starting a coaching program soon, and I'm gonna fucking teach you guys that. I'm gonna teach you not to trust me. That's the first thing I teach people in the coaching program. Don't fucking trust me. Don't trust me. You gotta experience the shit. You gotta experience the shit. Okay? Don't even trust me. I'm useful. I'm resourceful. I'll give you that. I know that. But you gotta, everything that I say here, unless you experience it firsthand, unless you confirm it over and over with your own subjective experience, it's like, oh well, it didn't work for me. Maybe I gotta do something else. Maybe I should fucking shut off this guy and not listen to his shit anymore. It's all institutions, anything that is external of you is resourceful, is useful, but don't take it as the truth. Don't take it as this is the truth. Otherwise, you limit yourself. You put yourself in a box. You doom yourself. And you don't trust yourself. You're always seeking outwards for the truth. When the truth is within you. It is within you. The truth is within you. Everything you need to know is within you. And this is it. This is we're here to experience. And this is, you got to trust this above all else. Right? If you smoke weed and it makes you fucking Superman, that's your fucking experience, bro. Trust that. That's how your biology reacts to it. That's how your current emotional state reacts to it. Trust it. And if it changes, it changes. The truth changes. It changes, the only constant in life. Truth is always changing moment to moment. But the ultimate truth is that you and I are streams of consciousness made of light and love. That is the truth. And again, don't take my word for it. Experience it. Feel it. However you want to get there. You want to get there through meditation. You want to get there through mind-boggling tantric sex with someone that is into this stuff. You want to get through this with psychedelics. You want to get through this just by years of contemplation and years of personal development and awareness and mindfulness. However you want to get there, you get there. And that's your dharma, I think. That's what they call it in Hinduism. Or that's your karma. That's your incarnation. You gotta honor that shit. You gotta honor that shit. See, for me, for example, I have a pull. A strong, powerful magnetic pull towards psychedelics, psychedelic substances, psychedelic medicines. That's my incarnation. It's in my soul DNA. It's in my DNA. Alright, Saeed, you're gonna fucking dabble so much with psychedelics. And when you don't need to dabble anymore, you will know not to dabble. You will get the compass. It will tell you. You will feel it. It's a feeling. Right now, Saeed, you need to dabble with psychedelics. Right? Boom. I gotta follow this fucking thing. I'm gonna follow the urge. I'm gonna trust my own subjective experience, and I'm gonna trust this the God consciousness acting and speaking through me and giving me feelings and urges to do things. Right? To do things. That's it. This is here. It's here. Trust what's going on in here. Trust the emotions. Trust the urges. Trust the experience. Trust the heart. The heart is always pointing you to go somewhere. Right? It's always... And here's the thing. If your fucking heart points you towards death, like your heart tells you, hey, dude, just go walk outside right now. And you walk outside and a fucking car comes and smashes you, and boom, out of this dimension, back to the virtual reality main lobby. Okay? Then that's your heart. Your heart's now telling you time to leave this plane of existence. Trust this thing here. Trust it. Whatever it tells you, trust it. Even if it takes you to hell, even if it takes you to death, trust it. Because, death is just an exit point. I'm just giving very, very extreme examples here. Right? Oh, heart tells me walk, boom, car. It's like, yeah, you probably need to leave this plane of existence right now. But trust it. That's the kind of trust. That's the kind of trust you need to have in the universe. That's the kind of trust you need to have in cosmic love. That's the kind of trust you need to have in the divine mother, in God, in the Father. However you want to see this thing, this God consciousness. There's only one of it. And it's in everything. It's infused in everything and everyone and everywhere. And that's infused within you. That all-knowing, all-powerful God consciousness is right here. So you want to trust it. And by trusting it, you trust that it acts through you and through everything around you, and you trust it so much, and this is where you find it, in the heart. Right here, the heart cave. This is where it is. And that's that emotional pull that pulls you towards something. It just pulls you towards anything, towards starting a new business, or quitting your job, or doing your first psychedelic trip, or, taking on a new teacher, or a new path, or a new journey, a new endeavor. Trust it. If there's a pull, then you need to go there. You need to go there. Okay, so that said, I knew this was going to be like a 30-minute video because again, I think we all don't honor our experience because we've been taught not to honor it and take our truths from institutions. When in reality, institutions are just useful, but they're not the truth giver. You're the truth giver. God bless you all. I love every single one of you guys, but don't forget to subscribe or you're gonna sleep with the fishes.